This was kind of a cool one, really cool actually. I had ace 10 of hearts here, and I raised on the button, and I got called by the small blind and big blind. Now the small blind is a particularly aggressive opponent, just loves to just put you in a tough spot. It's different than the first opponent from the earlier hand I described recently on the ace-9 suited hand. But I pick up ace-10 of hearts, and the flop comes. I raise the button, get a couple callers. I just min-raise. And so the pot's, 60-ish. And the flop comes king of hearts, 5 of diamonds, 2 of spades. So king 5 deuce rainbow. I do have a backdoor flush and backdoor straight. So I've got a little bit of equity even against, top set. So it goes check to me. I just bet 30, take a small stab into this $60 or $70 pot. But also, I think this really aggressive opponent, if I bet small, it could induce a check raise. And I just know that his range is just, if he check raises there, it's just not going to be, he's not going to have sets. Like, he 3-bets pocket pairs. There's no hand he ever wants to check raise with on the flop. I mean, literally no hand. He 3-bets all pocket pairs. So deuces and 5s are out. The only hand is maybe if he just decided to toss in a raise with like king 5, toss in a call out of the blinds with king 5 suited. So he's in the small blind. So it's check, I bet 30. He makes it 90. So I decide I'm going to play him off this hand. I'm just winning this pot. And I need to figure out the way that I don't put, I know that he might just have that same attitude, whereas I'm winning this pot no matter what. So because I'm in position, I can kind of dictate the terms a little bit better. I want to put him in a spot where I get to be the last one to jam the rest of the money in. Because I think the last guy that jams the money in this pot is going to win it. Because then the guy can't call. But if he gets an opportunity to jam the money in on me first, then I'm screwed. So he check raised me. So I decide to make a really tiny raise back, because then I knew he wouldn't just jam right then, because we're a little over 100 blinds deep. He wouldn't just jam because it would be too much of an overbet, and he wouldn't want to risk that much in case I did have a hand. And he doesn't quite have enough information yet to really be quite as confident as he probably like. So I decided to make it 180, knowing that, and he made it 90. I made it 30 on the flop. He made it 90. I made it 180, knowing that he wouldn't just go straight to all in with 120 blinds, because it'd be 1,000 more. So if he raised me back, then I could jam. Or it would give me an opportunity to just kind of save some ammunition if he just flats or something like that, rather than me making it, if I make it 300 there to try to play him off, well, now he can, his next move is to kind of jam, because then he's got to make it 700 or something, and then he's pretty much committed into the pot. So at that point, it'll just have put too much money in. So basically, I'm setting him up to make the last move. So he calls, and so I think that he's calling to check raise the turn. I think he thinks, man, he might continue again, but if he gives up on the turn, then he's thinking, well, I'll bet the river. If I give up on the turn, he's going to bet the river. If I bet the turn, then he's going to check raise me on the turn, and then I'm going to be that guy that, he got to put the last money in then that way. So this is a little confusing, but bear with me here. So the turn is a 9, and he checks to me, and I decide that I don't want to put myself in position to let him put the last of the money in. So I decide to check the turn, and I can still totally credibly rep a big hand checking the turn, because if I did have the set I'm representing, I don't have any scare cards really at any point, because the turn was a 9 of clubs, so it completed the rainbow. And so he checked the turn, I checked. So the river was another 9, and predictably he bet out, and then I jammed, and he folded. So I got to be the last guy to put the money in there, and I won the pot. And I kind of assumed right from the beginning that, it's pretty obvious to me he had nothing. I don't think he made a huge fold or a bottom set or anything. He just had absolute air, and he was trying to figure out how to do it. But his mistake was that he tried to, he knew too, I'm sure he had to be the last one to put the money in. But his mistake was he shouldn't have really tried it in the first place because he's out of position, and if I'm if I'm on a pretty high level, which he's got to think I am, I think he should know that I'm not going to make the mistake of letting him put the last of the money in a situation like that.